Welcome to The Deciding Point, our Cracked Racquets weekly breakdown of the biggest storylines happening throughout the tennis world. On this week's show, I want to talk about how there were 6 ATP and WTA events, but countless storylines that emerged out of last week's tour action. In particular, I'm going to cover the sustained excellence of Pablo Carreno Busta, the continued ascent of players like Casper Ruud, Barbara Krejcikova, Tamara Zidansek. I want to offer an update on where the analytics stand regarding this 2021 season and so much more. With that in mind, Westhoff, roll those credits. Let's start today's show. Let's talk now about Pablo Carreno Busta, who captures the 6th ATP title overall in his career, first at the 500 level this past week in Hamburg. Now, there's no denying the draw in Hamburg, not the strongest 500 level event we've ever seen, but for Carreno Busta to come through that draw and not drop a set speaks to how well the 30-year-old is playing here this season. You look for Carreno Busta, it's his second title in 2021. The other one also came on red clay courts. At that time, it was in Marbella a few months ago. You look for Carreno Busta now, 37-16 this year. He's ranked 11th in the ATP rankings. You want to turn to the advanced metrics. Our friends at Tennis Abstract, of course, providing us with the ELO ratings. He's 10th in overall ELO, 10th in 2021 specific ELO as well. The question I'd like to pose to all of you, has Pablo Carreno Busta outlasted the rest of his generation? We talk so frequently about that lost gen. When you do, the names that immediately come to mind, a Raonic, a Dimitrov, a Jack Sock, the David Goffin, those were the guys we thought perhaps at this point would be competing at the highest stages of the game, competing to not only win one, but add to their Grand Slam titles. Unfortunately for them, and perhaps still fortunately for us, as we've gotten to see the sustained excellence of the big three, we've gotten to see this next generation of players already make such a heavy push. Of course, Berrettini, Tsitsipas, Zverev, Medvedev, finalists at your last 4 competed at Grand Slams. The point being, you look at this lost gen, there's not too many of them lingering still at the very top, certainly top 12, top 20 of the men's game. Now, part of that is due to injuries. We haven't seen a healthy Milos Raonic, it feels like, really since 2018, 2019. Grigor Dimitrov's been banged up so frequently. David Goffin was hit in the eye with the ball that kept him off the court, but has dealt with some other injuries as well over this past span of time. Right now, Pablo Carreno Busta might be the last hope for that lost gen. He may be at the top. Now, I didn't include Dominic Thiem in that group. He's a little bit younger than them, and, it still feels like he has just, he's played his best tennis for a while, but he is now certainly in the prime of his career. He captures that 2020 U.S. Open title. He's sort of in a different category on his own, but you look at that lost gen, the Raonic, the Dimitrovs, the Jack Socks of the world, has their window shut to win a Grand Slam title. After Djokovic is done winning however many he wins, let's say Nadal sneaks out another one, Thiem may even win another one as well, but those next-gen guys seem ready. They're, nipping at the bit to capture their first major title. Who's got the best shot of the lost gen? Who might be the person that delivers that 1990 to 1995 born cohort, a men's single slam title? Now, of course, Thiem has done it, but will there be anyone else? I would argue Carreno Busta, he's the closest amongst the group. You date back to, I believe it's the 2018 U.S. Open. There have been 18 Grand Slams played since then, so maybe it's 2017, but he has made the third round or better of 14 of his last 18 Grand Slams, has Pablo Carreno Busta. Now, during that time, he's also made, fourth round in 7 of them. He's made quarterfinals in 4 of them. He's made semifinals in 2 of them. That's better in terms of a sustained period than the rest of the group over this most recent stretch. And look, he's always in the final 32. About half of the time, he's in the final 16. Making the second week of a slam is half the battle. And we've seen Carreno Busta's ceiling isn't as high as some of these other next-geners, particularly when you're not on a clay court. But, if the Rafa's hold on Roland Garros is broken, we all thought Dominic Thiem might be the heir apparent. Maybe Novak Djokovic sneaks out a couple more at Roland Garros as well. But if it's going to happen for the lost generation, maybe the best shot is Pablo Carreno Busta at the 2022 French Open. Now, I'm not naming him a favorite. I'm not even saying it's likely to happen, but you look at that loss, Jen, sure, a healthy Raonic, would we like him at Wimbledon? Maybe, but for Carreno Busta, again, we've seen him compete, make the semifinals of a Grand Slam before. You look for him in his career. Carreno Busta, a ton of success on the clay courts. He's, I believe, 310 and 152, 67% win percentage. That's better than his 64% for his career. The point being, the injuries to Dimitrov, the injuries to Raonic, the injuries to Jack Sock, while he's rising and, returning somewhat to form, he's not at winning Grand Slam title form, not even close to it. The guy who's probably closest is Pablo Carreno Busta. The metrics suggest as much. The recent results suggest as much. I don't know if that's a good thing for the Lost Gen, but that's certainly where we're at this point in the 2021 season.